DJI just dropped their newest firmware update for the Pocket 3. Now, if you don't have this update, don't worry, super easy to do. Just open up the DJI Mimo app, connect your Pocket 3, it'll present you with a dialog box alerting you to the fact that there's new firmware. Hit OK, it'll download and install it to your camera. After about 5 or 6 minutes, your camera will restart and you'll have access to all these new features and the fixes. Now, two of these things really stood out to me. First and foremost was the ability to click and hold the record button, and eventually in about 2 seconds of holding it while you're taking a video, it'll give you the option to delete it. Now, that may not sound big to some of you, but others, this is huge because in post-production, for people who do things like YouTube videos, you're always messing up. So when you go into post, you'll have about 7, 8, 10 clips to sort through, and you have to figure out which one was best. This way, if you know you messed up, you can just simply hold the record button and it gets rid of it. The other thing they fixed has to do with the gimbal. So when you rotated the Pocket 3 into selfie mode, basically what would happen is you would push the joystick to the right and the camera would go left. You would push it to the left and the gimbal would move right. Now this was inverse in my opinion. They went ahead and fixed that. So now when you push the joystick right, the camera goes right. You push it left, the camera goes left. And that holds true whether you're in selfie mode or you have it flipped around and you're shooting in FPV mode. We also saw an update to the OTG connection. What was happening was people were plugging into the OTG, plugging it into your computer, taking the plug out or exiting the program, and then the camera gimbal would freeze. So it wouldn't wrap back on itself, and apparently it would freeze and then overheat or just get really hot. So of course, DJI fixed that as well. Now the other updates all revolve around the microphone that came with the Creator Edition. Now the microphone received 2 different optimization upgrades. First, it optimized the gain control, and secondly, it optimized the connection that the transceiver has to the camera while you're shooting in live mode. So if you're a streamer or you're doing anything live, apparently there were some drops, and I actually did see this on a couple folks that I watched that live streamed with the Pocket 3. Some of the audio would drop out, but again, DJI seems to have fixed that with this upgrade. They also had some other minor bug fixes. They didn't really elaborate on what those bug fixes were, but overall, I'm really pleased and can't believe I'm this happy about a firmware update. And the reason I'm pleased is because Insta360 Ace and Ace Pro, and if you haven't seen that review of mine, please check it out here. They had this feature from launch, the ability to click and hold the record button while you're shooting a video and then presenting you with an option to delete. Now, I unfortunately had to return that camera. It really wasn't for me, but I ended up missing that feature and wishing that something like the Pocket 3 or the Action 4 from DJI would have it. Well, lo and behold, here we are 2 months past that live launch, and we're seeing them match feature to feature, at least on the Pocket 3. Now that to me gets me excited because it just shows the aggressiveness that DJI is pursuing for this market. Really, the way I see it is you have Insta360 and you have DJI in terms of top dogs for pocket-sized cameras and action cameras. GoPro just really isn't in the discussion anymore. And can you imagine GoPro pushing an update like this to give us a feature via firmware? It rarely happens, if ever. They just aren't that proactive or reactive to the competition. Now, I did have issues with the DJI Action 4, but overall, I haven't found anything wrong with the Pocket 3. I know they're 2 different cameras, but still, I absolutely adore this camera. I will be having a full review of the Pocket 3 coming out very shortly, so be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification to catch that review. I hope you found value in this, just an update on the firmware and the fact that I think DJI is killing the game. Anyways, I'm Hill Phantom. I'll see you next time.